Dear 2499 Power Score Meta Slaves. Fuck you. My fiancé decided to play Crosout today. With less than 2 kps on his build, I was actually excited to see how his games are, so I watched. He doesn't have much gear, because he didn't understand that the salvage button wasn't undoable. He wanted a few different guns, and didn't fully understand the game mechanics. After 45 minutes of playing, he encountered many shotgun dogs, melee wedges, and even a couple of twin-borer remedies, all sat pretty much spot on 2499 power, or close to it. What the actual fuck? Fused item. Meta builds against actual noobs. Most of the time, he was teamed with low power score players like himself, and the enemy teams had 2 or 3 2499 heirs. How the fuck can people sit and complain about how the game is dying, and in their next match they're absolutely destroying people who are pretty much brand new to the game? No wonder new player retention is so low. Fucking seal clubbing needs to be reportable, because what I just watched was a damn joke. Whoever you are, go fuck yourself. This is the major reason this game has horrible player retention. Low/mid PS games tend to be miserable to play. I stopped playing for 2 years because most of my games were full of shotgun wedges and drone builds, and the resulting gameplay was just completely unfun. In my opinion. Once you've reached engineer rank 20, you should be banned from PvP with a build below 3000 PS. If you want to play less than 3 kps, you play Patrol, Easy Raids, Bedlam, No Rewards, or Adventure. Or, up until engineer rank 20, give PvP levels of scrap for Patrol. The fucked up part is that you don't even unlock Patrol until level 5. I mean, there is the engineer's LVL 30 cap that as long as you're under level 30 you will only be queued against other under level 30 players. Only time this limit is removed is if you're in a group with someone who is above level 30. But yeah, seal clubbers and low PS meta chasers can go to hell. I just got kicked from my clan for talking shit to the addicts playing absurd low PS meta and calling it fun. Fucking scum. Also the same morons that dropped $300 plus day 1 buying the battle pass. So they spend $300 plus a day on a season and they resort to seal clubbing? For fun. Not all the time. But yes, often enough to call them out. That is borderline horrendous and dishonorable. LOL. Imagine spending more than $300 plus and they have to resort to a cheap tactic to win matches. RIP. I also do not understand the fun of seal clubbing starting players. The real fun is when you are outmatched and you win. That doesn't happen often, but it's real satisfying. My worst seal clubbing nightmare, though, was EVE Online. Also I've read that it's real bad in Albion Online. I didn't reach that level there so can't comment, etc. I mean, every game which is an online competitive game has such a problem. But, on the other hand, you/mute_Renchi, persisted against all odds and are still playing. That's what matters, that is the achievement, and that should feel satisfying. Not gonna lie, for a moment there. I had no idea who mute_Renchi was, for fuck's sakes. I first played in Return of the Founders, and got to engineer rank 13, but I didn't take to the game. It felt too far from the games I was used to, but my brother wanted me to join him and his buds. Eventually I just stopped playing. Fast forward to the Hyperborea season. I was playing with my buddy, and we completed It Takes Two together, then couldn't decide what to do next. We looked through our libraries, and he suggested Crosout. I said, fuck it. What's the worst that could happen? Now we play almost every day. I just wish I gave the game the chance it deserved, back then, instead of coming back to half-empty lobbies. I fell in love with this game far too late. But at least I had a head start when I got back. My buddy turned out to be even higher than I was, and so we skipped 2 kps altogether. Over the old forums we shot the breeze once talking about this, and the general consensus was that using legendary items or epic fused items in a PS range below 6k should automatically separate players from the fresh out of LVL 30 people. I admit I did not had any fused item above rare until my first 10 prestige levels back when special tier didn't even existed, so having any epic item fused or using legendary ones in low PS ranges should be a dead giveaway of someone exploiting the matchmaking system. It also doesn't help that those players also tend to be the most toxic ones too, often using the chat to insult teammates and adversaries. Yeah, had one the other day. My buddies and I, knowing that the new helicopter mode always give one bot per team, never having seen a full 5v5, decided to have fun, and give our opponent some wins, so we made a Megazord, 4-person fusion build. Tank track for feet, rotors to get connected, rifts to ditch the rotors, and no guns. We were having fun, and our opponents get a good laugh. Took us 3 games to get it to work, because custom games don't support rotors. Anywho, about 5 games into our intentional losing streak. One guy, with 4 arbiters, all fused, in a flying brick, well, he decided to come over and delete us all. Which is okay. We're just messing around, we expect to be shot at. But after, one by one, he sent us all a message saying easy. Like, what the fuck are you proving here? I especially like when the easy guy is among the worst players in the round. Like, bitch, you wouldn't have survived the round if people hadn't carried your sorry ass to the finish line. Of course it was easy to you, you did nothing, you fucking tool. It's like cheating on a test and calling it easy person facepalming. He just proved that he's an attention/problem seeker. I used to think it was called seal clubbing because they were using RN seals at low PS lol. I'd like add something, yes they use meta builds but the toxic thing about this is that they are seal clubbing. I think that's the TRM for it, so direct your anger more towards seal clubbers and less towards meta build users. I use meta build somewhat often but I at least stay at 13-16 kps, where I should be. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. There should be no meta for the 2499 PS bracket. The argument dash. A full 2K build, with fused blues, a good selection of structural parts, constructed with maximum strength for the least power score cost, driven by someone who has played the game long enough to know where to shoot, how best to drive, when to push, how to target track. Versus a little noodle, fresh out of bot lobbies, probably running 2 different guns, set to the same shoot key. Most likely, both mounted to the same structural part, that has less life than the guy that's about to fuck them up, as they Leroy Jenkins into the jaws if his ugly little borer wedge. Who do you think would win? To know the meta, you need to properly understand the game, and why/how the meta works. And if you can put your hand up and say you have the parts and knowledge to run a meta build, then you have graduated noob college, get the fuck out of 2K.